What's up guys, Daniel Byer. Today I want to cover a 4x4 method for solving the 4x4 in ideally a quick and efficient method. And so I'm going to start off by building my first two blocks. I break that up into several steps. Right centers, left centers, committing to the left block on the first block on the left side, and then finishing up the second block on the right side. So the first thing I want to do is actually build a half bar of yellow from this D and this F pair. I'm doing a wide L prime, which also lined up, so I could then take the on the L and on the B, pair those up with a wide D move, pair them up. On the D slice, doing a D2 to pair, transition immediately to solve and bringing. So now I've got three white on the left. Line up the fourth one, pair it up so that way left and right centers are done. I want to quickly scan for additional pieces, and I see my first pair would be green. I lined them up on L and R slice, pair it up, do a quick cube rotation, scanning. I'm gonna line up the white red on the R and L slice at the UF and the DF slots, to drop down and actually pair that misoriented for the moment. Do a quick R prime U prime, or excuse me, R U prime R with a wide R turn to be able to pair these pairs up. I'm going to do a slice L because that actually lets me take the slot, just pair up the 1x3 1x1x3 bar, pairing up, doing my first two block, or the first block, as all the edges that I need are paired now. I'll simply get this green yellow paired together, followed by the red yellow, just doing an L2, paired up these two because they were on opposite slices. Building that 1x3x3 bar and looking for the additional pieces. So if I look back, I see that this is already a 1x1x2. I see that simply doing RU R prime with a wide R turn allows this piece to pair up. And then quickly insert, finishing up my first two blocks, transitioning immediately to next two centers. So I build the half bar up, preserving the second half bar of blue. That's going to be my back, so therefore I want an orange D. So I have three here, and my orange is actually this face relative to the blue. So I pull piece down with a half bar, I take my other half bar, insert it, and do an M move. I've already got a solved edge pair as I did in the last example, which is great. Next thing that I want to do is start looking for other pieces, and I noticed that I wind up with a these two match, the yellow orange and the red blue. They both match, but if you look, they line up across from each other at UF and UB. I'm going to do M prime to actually let them line up on the same slice, the yellow orange and then on the L slice, and the blue red on the R slice. That way when I do a RU2 R prime, it pairs them up. So now that means that I've got a set of matching pairs. So the next thing is that I look and I see that this orientation, because they're on the back slice and they match, it means they're in bad relation to one another. If they were on opposite slices, that would be good. So I'm going to kick a pair down, and I will kick the, let's see, so I line up and I look to see what lines up. I see that this pair lines up. So what I'll wind up doing is I line up my pair of the green orange at the back slot. I do M, U, M prime, So now I have a solved pair. I've already solved 3 pair. One was pre-solved and 2 more with that R U2R move. So simply I adjusted U face and did M U M prime to basically do an arrowhead case to fix the centers on the last 3 edge pairs or LSD wings. And I'm going to now adjust the U face so that way a solved edge pair is at UL. And you can see now that because the green orange and the orange green are on both at UF and UB on opposite slices, parallel slices L and R, I basically limit where the other wings can be. And there's 2 patterns based on this. Is I'm looking for either pair here, which it does match, or a pair here, which it doesn't match. The pair matches here, so I know that I'm going to my trigger is going to start off with a U2, but I know that also I can either pair up with an R prime or an L prime. See that both those match the green orange pair because I see that it's 2 pieces apart. There's a large triangle. I think like it's bigger. It's so I know it's a 2. If it was to be a only 1 piece about the corner, here and here would be the pair. It would start off with an RU trigger. Basically, it's a wide turn soon, and I'm going to do the inverse of that. So I'm going to do L prime U2, L U, L U. Excuse me, L prime U, wide L. All these cases, there's basically 4 cases. If you always keep a solved edge pair at the UL and you solve that rule of having a match on the UF and the UB slots on parallel slices L and R, basically you're always going to be able to get one of those 4 cases. So next, transition to CMLL. CMLL is done. I look, and unfortunately I have odd parity. So in the last example I showed that by solving odd parity early, I actually wound up spending more moves because I didn't fix both at the same time. So what I'm going to wind up doing is actually saving moves. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to know what my bad edges are, if that makes sense. I'm going to treat the green because green's unsolved, red's unsolved, and green's unsolved. So I'm going to treat this green edge as the parity edge. So really it's a bad edge. Even though it looks good right now by Roux standards, it's bad. So I flipped that in my head. So what I'll wind up doing is now I've got, it looks like an arrowhead case, and remember this is also flipped as well. So I line it up and do my arrow case. So now I have 5 flipped pieces and the parity alg that I'm going to apply here, flipping this later. So the next thing is that transition to a, that was 4A step, transition to 4B, and I look and I have parity as well. So what I want to wind up doing is actually solving the M slice. So actually this whole 1x1x4 bar of UL and whole 1x1x4 bar of UR is actually swapped. So I do my M2 to line up the parity edge at UF. What I'm going to wind up doing is I'm going to do, now unfortunately because of how this came about, it didn't, I'm going to have a longer center case, but they're still going to be quick. So what I want to wind up doing is I'll do L prime, U2, L, U2. So then I transition to, I do a cube rotation. And then I just do one more U2 after I do my parity alg and that L prime U2 L U2, finish up the centers. and the cube is solved. Normally, we would try and keep that centers algorithm down to a 9 move count, but sometimes it's kind of like getting the dot case in Rue, and sometimes you just can't avoid it, and it's just easier to solve it at the end and grind through that rather than try and force something better along the way.